When does a sense of humor become unhealthy?
When you're freaking annoying, man. That's
Oh.
when. Oh man, this is funny because this we get random topics and we don't even know what we're getting until we say them. So it's interesting. This just made me laugh. I see this. I worked with kids quite a bit over my 7 or almost 8 years now of dealing with mental health, and a lot of kids that I've worked with, they don't understand when they tell a good joke and you laugh. Oh, that was great. They like the attention and they think that it's going to get the same response if they say it 6 more times. And then you're like, bro, you're losing it. It was funny. Now it's just annoying. So one thing I would say, when does the sense of humor not be funny anymore is when you don't know when to stop.
Yeah, another place is if it's at the expense of somebody.
Yeah.
Or yourself. You can do that humor that's keeping yourself down. And I'm just kidding. I'm a little fluffy. Look at me, I'm fluffy. But realistically, if it's something that you're truly insecure about, some of this humor becomes a script in your head that's telling you who you are. Or some of the times our humor, even if we're in an unhealthy place, might be that insecure part of us that are trying to keep people where they're supposed to be so that we feel bigger. If your humor's at the expense of someone else, that's not healthy. It's not good.
No, and I would say also when you're any kind of communication, one of the first rules you want to look at is know your audience. So if you're talking to a group of people who might have been through something really traumatic, you don't want to have a dark humor joke to somebody like that. You're going to offend them. And it's not even that dark humor is something bad, but you got to think about who you're talking to and who you're joking with. And if that joke is going to cause the adverse effect that you're looking for, it's unhealthy and it's not funny at that point.
Another place where it can be unhealthy is not whenever it's particularly bad, but whenever you're dealing with unhealthy people.
Yeah.
They don't get to take your laughter. They don't get to take your sense of humor. You keep that. But you might remember exactly who it is you're dealing with. What Jack was saying about knowing your audience is huge. Some people don't have a sense of humor, and if that's the case, I don't know that I would call it unhealthy, but it's certainly a barrier to intimacy or closeness when you make those jokes, or whenever you try to make a lighthearted thing not lighthearted.
Yeah, and I also think that if you're using your sense of humor to give yourself value or worth, I don't think it's meant for that. A sense of humor is just a strength that you have. It can be very beneficial when talking to people, when influencing people, but it shouldn't give you a sense of identity. You shouldn't be, I'm the funny guy. It lessens who you actually are. And when you try to use that to get people to like you, I want you to like me and I'm just going to be funny and hilarious so you'll like me. Well, what happens when you go through something you're not funny anymore? Do you not have those friends? I think we should use humor as a tool and not as an identity.
I think right now there are more rules on humor than there have ever been before, and I actually don't think that that's particularly healthy. Keep your humor. Know that it's okay to laugh, to make rough situations not rough. I know people who work in heartbreaking, despair-filled places, and about the only thing that keeps them going is finding something that they can laugh at, something that they can find a bright spot in the day. I know caretakers who have people who are in situations that aren't going to get better, and they still look for those places. Now, you can have a sense of humor that's sweet-natured. You can have a sense of humor that's not pushing people down. If your sense of humor is being stifled or choked out because you're worried about people's perception, I mean, it's kind of the reverse, but your sense of humor can be unhealthy there too if you're suffocating it so that you don't offend anybody.
Yeah, we live in a world that everybody gets offended about everything. So it is a fine line you have to draw. You know, you have to be aware of who you're talking to and aware of your surroundings when you're telling jokes. You don't want to, interrupt some sacred service or something telling a joke. Just like anything else, I think you just need to have boundaries. And if you have solid boundaries, then your humor can be helpful. I mean, think about it. Humor can actually be psychotherapeutic for some people. You can use humor in a way to help other people. It doesn't have to always be negative. And so I would say if this is something that you're dealing with, man, look at it as a way you can actually use this to help people and empower people and better their lives.
If you need some help with that humor of yours, maybe making it a little healthier, maybe making it a little more appropriate, maybe setting boundaries or keeping boundaries. Well, we do that too. And it's also just a good topic to entertain and go through in your head. Give us a call. We'd love to do some counseling with you.